Good morning, students. This is lecture number 2 of chapter number 6, the Browning version, written by Terence Rattigan for class 11th, subject English, book Hornbill. Children, in lecture number 1, I covered this chapter from page number 50 to 52. And today, in this lecture number 2, I shall give you the explanation or the recapitulation of lecture number 1, and then we will proceed further to complete the chapter from page number 53 to 55. So let's begin with the recapitulation of lecture number 1. Children, in lecture number 1, I taught you the scene is a short extract from the play, the Browning version. Taplov is a boy aged 16 who arrives at the school to do extra work for Mr. Crocker Harris, that is, his teacher. He meets another teacher there while he was waiting for Mr. Harris, and the other teacher name was Frank, and both of them gets engaged in a conversation with each other while Taplow was waiting for Mr. Harris. Frank is another teacher in the same school who is young in age, and Mr. Crocker Harris is a middle-aged teacher. Frank saw Taplow and asked his name and in which class he studies. Taplow answers him and tells him that he studies in the lower 5th standard and he cannot specialize until he gets his division or remove from his master, Mr. Crocker Harris, and Mr. Crocker Harris doesn't reveal the information like other masters. Frank shares that he doesn't know, but still Taplov should wait until tomorrow to know his result, to which he agrees. Frank asks Taplov about what remove he is interested to take further, and he replies science, as he is interested in the subject. Frank tells him that he is not interested in science, which he has to teach in the school. Taplov thinks that the subject that Frank teaches is still a good deal than the book he is currently reading. Upon asking about the book, Taplov tells him about the name of the author and the book that he tells Aeschylus, that is the author of the book, and Agamemnon is the name of the book that he was carrying to read. He thinks the plot of the book is good, but the way those Greek words are taught to them combined together is useless. On criticizing the book, Frank tells him that you are sounding a little bitter about Mr. Crocker Harris. Further, Frank asks him if he is staying in school as a punishment, to which Taplov replies that he is in the school on the last day of the term due to some extra work assigned by Mr. Harris. He was ill last week, and due to which he was absent for a day, and that absentism from the school for a day he is compensating now by doing extra work. He also adds that he wants to play golf at that moment because the weather was very fine. Frank comforts him by saying that he'll get his removed tomorrow due to some extra work that he was doing for Mr. Harris. And then Frank asks him what Mr. Harris told him upon being asked about his remove. Taplov imitates Mr. Harris, imitates means copies. He copies Mr. Harris and told him exactly what his master answered him. Mr. Harris told him that he would get what he deserved, nothing less, nothing more. So Frank asked him to repeat what he just said about Mr. Harris, and he started imitating him again soon. Frank told him that his imitation was not close to Mr. Harris' way of saying things, and he told him to read his book again. This was the complete recapitulation or the explanation from page number 50 to 52 that we covered in our lecture number 1. And now we'll proceed further from page number 53 onward. Children, now we shall start reading from our book, in which there will be conversation going on between Frank and Taplov. And the dialogue of Frank is, "Look, what time did Mr. Crocker Harris tell you to be here?" "6:30, sir." "Well, he's 10 minutes late. Why don't you cut? You should still play golf before lockup." Taplow, really shocked. "Oh no, I couldn't cut." "Cut the crock, Mr. Crocker Harris? I shouldn't think it's ever been done in the whole time he's been here. God knows what would happen if I did. He would probably follow me home or something." Then Frank says, "I must admit I envy him, the effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. You all seem scared to death of him. What does he do? Beat you all or something?" "Good Lord, no. He's not a sadist, like one or two of the other." Frank says, "I beg your pardon, sir." Right? So these are the words spoken between both of them. Then Taplov says, "A sadist, sir, is someone who gets pleasure out of giving pain." Frank, "Indeed. But I think you went on to say that some other masters." So let us discuss what their conversation tells us about their thoughts about Mr. Harris. Before I go, I tell you some of the difficult words that you would have noticed when Frank said, "Why don't you cut?" Here, cut means stop doing something that is undesirable. Means he is provoking that little boy of 16 against his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris. He advised him to disobey the teacher and stop doing that thing that was undesirable by him. Then Frank in the next dialogue said, "I must admit I envy him." Envy means jealous. That he admits that he is jealous of Mr. Harris. Then there is a word, "Good Lord, he is not a sadist." You know, children, sadist is a person who derives pleasure by giving pain or humiliation to others. That is already given in the book. Then he says, "Pardon." Pardon is the action of being forgiven for error or offense. That is forgiveness. So, what do they converse in these lines? I tell you. Frank asks him, "At what time did Mr. Harris ask him to come to school?" Taplov told him 6:30. Then Frank suggests him to go and play golf, as Taplov already told him golf was his favorite game and the weather was also fine, so he was desiring to play golf. So Frank suggests him to go and play golf for a little while, as he would be 10 minutes. Taplov refuses, as he is afraid of what would happen. If he shows up in his absence again, he means the teacher might follow him his home. Then Frank tells him that he is a little jealous of Mr. Harris because of the effect he has on all the boys in the form. Then he asks him if Harris beats students, to which Taplov says no. He is not someone who derives pain by hurting others, means he is not a sadist. There are one or two other teachers like that. Frank asks him to be more specific and he explains to him the meaning of sadist. Then Frank asked him what he was saying about other masters. So, children, we are not reading any dialogue spoken by Mr. Crocker Harris, but we are getting to know more about the fellow who is not at all speaking even a word in any one of the dialogues. But out of the conversation between Frank and Taplov, we get to know many things. Yesterday also I told you in my lecture number 1, we got to know that Mr. Harris was a man of principles. He never liked to declare results before the day of declaration or before the headmaster declared. And he used to make children sit for extra work if they were absent from school even due to their ailment. And today we have read that he was not a sadist and the children obeyed him wholeheartedly. That was the result. Taplov was sitting and waiting for him, though the teacher got 10 minutes late. But still, the boy was not ready to leave, was not ready to cut, was not ready to play his favorite game, golf, but he wanted to wait for his teacher, as he was ordered by his teacher to be seated and to complete the work assigned by him. So, let's begin with the conversation of part 7 between both of them. And this time the conversation begins with the dialogue of Taplov. Taplov says, "Well, of course they are, sir. I won't mention names, but you know them as well as I do. Of course I must know. Most of the masters think we boys don't understand a thing. But, sir, you are different. You are young. Well, comparatively, anyway, you are science, and you must know what sadism is." Then Frank takes a pause and he says, "Good Lord, what are our school coming to?" Taplov, "Anyway, the croc is not a sadist. That's what I'm saying. He would not be so frightening if he were, because at least it would show he had some feelings. But he hasn't. He is all shriveled up into like a nut, and he seems to hate people to like him. It's funny that I don't know any other master who doesn't like being liked." Then Frank says, "And I don't know any boy who does not use that for his own purposes." "Well, it's natural, sir, but not with the croc." "Mr. Crocker Harris." "Yes, Mr. Crocker Harris. The funny thing is that in spite of everything, I do rather like him. I can't help it. And sometimes I think he sees it and that seems to shrivel him up even more." Frank says, "I am sure you are exaggerating." So, what is the meaning of shriveled up here? Having no feelings. And what is exaggerating? That is, exaggerating means represent something as being worse than it is really. Right? So, what is their conversation in these lines? Taplov explains to him that there are many teachers in the school whose name he will not take, but they are sadists, means they take pleasure out of giving pain to others. They think that the boys don't understand anything, but Frank is different from them, as he is young and he is from a science background and must know about sadism. Frank, in a surprising tone, exclaims about the condition of schools. Taplov goes on rating or ranting about Mr. Harris. He shares that Mr. Crocker Harris is not a sadist and yet he has no feelings. He is the type of person who might hate it when people like him. And he further says he doesn't know about any master there who doesn't like being liked like Mr. Harris. Frank mocks him and says he has not seen any student using this quality for his own purpose. Taplov agrees and calls Mr. Harris Croc, again to which Frank corrects him by saying his full name, not Croc, Mr. Crocker Harris. Taplov corrects him and admits that he still likes him and he cannot help it. Sometimes Mr. Harris sees it and he wrinkles even more, to which Frank replies that he must be exaggerating. So, this shows that though Mr. Harris was a strict teacher, but still children obey him, children respect him. Now, their conversation goes on, and I am reading from the dialogue of Taplov. Taplov says, "No, sir, I am not. In form, the other day he made one of his classical jokes. Of course, nobody laughed because nobody understood it, myself included. Still, I knew he had meant it as funny, so I laughed. Out of ordinary common politeness and feeling a bit sorry for him for having made a poor joke. Now, I can't remember what the joke was, but suppose I make it. Now you laugh, sir." Frank starts laughing. He laughs. Then Taplov says, in a gentle, thoughty voice, "Taplov, you laughed at my little joke? I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made, since you so readily have understood what the rest of form did not. Perhaps now you would be good enough to explain it to them, so that they too can share your pleasure." The door upright is pushed open and Millie Crocker Harris enters. She is a thin woman in her late 30s, rather more smartly dressed than the general run of schoolmasters' wives. She is wearing a cape and carries a shopping basket. She closes the door and then stands by the screen watching Tableau and Frank. It's a few seconds before they noticed her. Now you see what happened in these lines. Taplov shares further that one day Mr. Crocker Harris cracked one joke in his classical jokes to which no one laughed because no one understood that the joke was meant to be funny and nobody laughed at it. But Frank laughed anyway because he wanted to be polite and to feel sorry for him making such poor jokes. Right? So he doesn't remember what the joke was and asked Frank to suppose he cracked a joke right away and asked him to laugh. He imitated his teacher again and told Frank what his reaction was when he laughed at his joke. Mr. Harris, rather feeling happy that some child laughed at his joke, asked him to explain the joke to rest of the form as he was the only boy who laughed in the class. So, as he was saying this, the door of the classroom opened and Millie, wife of Mr. Crocker Harris, entered the classroom. She was a thin woman who dresses smarter than the rest of the women who are wives of schoolmasters. She was wearing a cape and she was carrying a shopping basket. She closed the door as she entered and stopped next to the screen watching both of them talking. They noticed her after a few seconds. This shocked both of them. Now we'll be reading the reaction of Mr. Frank as well as Taplov after they noticed Millie Crocker Harris' presence in that very room. Children, now you see, I am reading on page number 54, last conversation, last dialogue of Frank. Frank says, "Come along, Tableau," moves slowly about the desk. "Don't be so selfish as to keep a good joke to yourself. Tell the others." He breaks off suddenly, noticing Millie. "Oh Lord!" Frank turns quickly and seems infinitely relieved at seeing Millie. Frank, "Oh, hello." Millie, without expression, "Hello." She comes down to the sideboard and puts her basket on it. Taplov says, Taplov, moving up to left to Frank, whispered frantically. Frantically means hurriedly or desperately. "Do you think she heard?" Frank shakes his head comfortingly. Millie takes off her cape and hangs it on the hall stand. "I think she did. She was standing there quite a time." "If she did," she tells him, "there goes my remove." Frank says, "Nonsense." He crosses to the fireplace. So children, what happened? As Frank was joking about telling the joke to others, he saw Millie and stopped talking. He turned around and he was relieved by seeing her there and wished her hello. She replied hello without any expressions on her face and put her basket on the sideboard. Taplov asked Frank in a desperate tone if she had heard any of their conversation. Frank thought that she did because she was standing there for quite some time. Millie took her cape off and hung it on the hall stand. Then Taplov in a worrying tone says that if she did hear him, then he would not be able to get his remove from Mr. Harris. And Frank tells him not to think too much about it, and Frank crosses the fireplace. They got surprised to see Millie there, and Millie also told hello without any expression, which doubled up their doubt. So children, now we are on page number 55, somewhere in the mid. Millie takes the basket from the sideboard, moves above the table and puts the basket on it. Then Millie says to Taplov, "Waiting for my husband?" Moving down left to the table, he says, yes. Millie, "He's at the bursar's and might be there quite a time. If I were you, I would go." Taplov, doubtfully, "He said most particularly I was to come." Millie, "Well, why don't you run away for a quarter of an hour and come back?" She unpacks some things from the basket. Taplov. Supposing he gets the hair before me? Millie, smiling. I'll take the blame. She takes a prescription out of the basket. I tell you what, you can do a job for me. Take this prescription to the chemist and get it made up. Taplov. All right, Mrs. Crocker Harris. He crosses towards the door upright. In such a way, he got relieved from his punishment. Millie picks up the basket from the sideboard and puts it on the table. She asks Taplov if he is waiting for her husband, to which he replies, yes. Then she tells him that he is at the bursar's and it might be, some time. And if she was at his place, then she would have left. Taplov replies that he said he would come. As Millie unpacks some of the things from the basket, she suggests him to go for a quarter of an hour and then come back to check on him. Taplov asks her if he comes before him, then what would happen? Then Millie assures him that she would take the blame for this, and she took out a prescription slip from her basket. She handed it over to him and asked him to bring some medicines for her from the chemist, to which he agreed, and he crossed the door upright. So, children, you see that the boy was obedient enough and he was not ready to leave the room because it was the order of his teacher and he had to wait for him because he respected his teacher the most. Then it was only Millie Crocker Harris, who was wife of his teacher, came and handed him over a prescription slip and asked him to go to a chemist and bring some medicines for her. And if in between her husband comes, she would take the blame of relieving him from the punishment. In such a way, Taplov got relieved and he went out of that room where he had been sitting for a long time and waiting for his teacher to come to show him the extra work that he assigned him. So children, this was the complete explanation of the chapter, Browning version. And now we are proceeding towards homework. Please read the explained part of the chapter from page 53 to 55 thoroughly. Underline the difficult words and write their meanings. Also write the summary of the chapter in your English notebooks. And in my next lecture, I'll be discussing the complete recapitulation of the chapter. You can say it a summary of the chapter, and then I shall proceed with the explanation of the textual exercise. By the time, stay home, stay happy, have a nice day.